At the top of the Iranian state sits an executive with a mandate that extends into every branch of government. He acts as commander-in-chief, holding the power to declare war and mobilize the armed forces. He also directly appoints the heads of the national radio and television networks, the chief justice of the courts, and half the members of a powerful oversight body known as the Guardian Council. Yet, beneath this office, Iran maintains the features of a republic. The country holds regular, nationwide elections for a president and a parliament, where tens of millions of citizens cast their ballots. In a system where the legislative and executive branches are chosen through a public vote, one individual holds a lifetime appointment with absolute veto power over the entire state. This structure traces back to 1979 and the founder of the Islamic Republic, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. He sought to fuse the divine rights of Islamic law with the machinery of a modern state. He called this concept Vilayat-e-Faqih, or guardianship of the jurist. The logic was that the government should be guided by the single most highly ranked expert in religious law. The public sits at the base of this pyramid. In the middle is the Assembly of Experts, a body of clerics whose sole job is to evaluate the religious credentials of their peers and identify the most qualified jurist to sit at the absolute peak. The 1979 blueprint relied on a single justification. The supreme leader held absolute power because his religious seniority was considered beyond question. By 1989, that justification faced an existential test. Khomeini was on his deathbed, leaving the Islamic Republic without a clear path forward. The man Khomeini had spent years grooming to succeed him had recently been ousted after clashing with the regime over ideological differences. The assembly was left with few candidates. The only remaining clerics who held the required religious status were often skeptical of the radical direction the country had taken since the revolution. Adhering to the original constitution meant the assembly would have to hand absolute, lifetime power to a cleric who might dismantle the state's revolutionary foundation from within. Facing a potential collapse, Khomeini initiated a final maneuver. He convened a constitutional reform council to rewrite the rules of succession before he died. The council removed the requirement that the supreme leader must be a paramount religious jurist. Instead, they wrote that the leader only needed seminary training, provided he also possessed strong administrative abilities and political awareness. Under these revised rules, the assembly selected their new supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Khamenei was only a middle-ranking cleric at the time, a Hojat al-Islam. To bridge the gap in his credentials, the state media began addressing him as Ayatollah immediately following his appointment. This transition prioritized political loyalty over the strict religious hierarchy that the 1979 revolution was originally built on. This is how that system functions today. The current Assembly of Experts is an 86-member body of clerics. Every 6 years, the Iranian public participates in a nationwide election to choose who fills these 86 seats. Once seated, the assembly holds the constitutional duty to select the supreme leader and, theoretically, the power to dismiss him if he becomes incapable of ruling. On paper, this creates a link between the voting public and the ultimate authority in the country, functioning as a democratic check. However, the flowchart of Iranian power reveals a hidden procedural loop, starting with the Guardian Council. Before the public votes for the Assembly of Experts, the Guardian Council vets every candidate. They have the absolute power to disqualify anyone attempting to run for a seat. The circle closes with how the Guardian Council is formed. Half of its 12 members are appointed directly by the Supreme Leader. This mechanism ensures the Supreme Leader indirectly controls the very assembly meant to hold him accountable. The result is a political loop that insulates the regime from both the public's vote and the traditional hierarchy of the clergy.